So I manage a short-term holiday let based in the UK. We're in the southeast of England, which is quite a beautiful, pretty kind of national park area of England. And yeah, this holiday let came with a property we bought, the residential property. So we're very much, it's very much a family-run business. It's something my wife and I do, and it's based very close to our property. So we just walk across the yard to manage it. So yeah, in summary, a family property nearby and just one unit. So I started in 22 managing the property, and I spent about a year without PriceLabs defining prices. What I used to do is what is the simplest option, which is to have a fixed price all year. I believe that price was recommended by Airbnb or based on some very rudimentary market research. That's how I ran it for the first year, and then I discovered the concept of yield management. I discovered PriceLabs through online reviews and implemented it about 2023. I was having a feeling that I was overcharging my guests in the winter time, and somehow I also had a feeling I was leaving money on the table during the peak season, which is June, July, August, and school holidays. So I was trying to reconcile that idea with a fixed price, and that's how I got to PriceLabs, which is all about, of course, yield management. I think maybe I would have had some reservations had I been more experienced, because I know sometimes Airbnb doesn't interface too well with some third-party products. However, reviewing typically Reddit, I can see that the reviews of PriceLabs are very strong, and I tend to take my decision based, yeah, as most people, on reviews. So I had that comfort there, and I didn't have the worry about the interfacing with Airbnb because I was quite new in my journey. So yeah, I went to it. I went to go chose a PMS, selected PriceLabs in 23. Well, the key thing is it helped me understand the concept of base price. So in PriceLabs, I think base price, what you call basically average price. So it's the base price, the average ideal price you'd have over the whole year in order to reach your budget. So once you define that base price, that average price, then you can vary it downwards and upwards and have a minimum price and a maximum price per month. So understanding that was very useful for me. PriceLabs has a few interesting, useful tools to define your base price based on the competition and based on the size and the features of your property. Having understood that, I was able to define my base price, minimum, maximum, and then tweak it over the years. And actually, PriceLabs has got a useful tool which is showing the history of the base price. And that was useful to me to see how many changes I had made to it. So that's my number one tool in PriceLabs. Not very much. I changed it maybe 2 or 3 times in 2025. But the key thing is now I understand my numbers better. And that's thanks to the second tool in PriceLabs I prefer, which is the market dashboard. And so the portfolio analytics. So the portfolio analytics, I don't really have a portfolio, it's just a single property, but allow me to understand for my property what is the average ADR, but especially understand the revenue. So using portfolio analytics, I can understand how much I've made, how much I'm going to make, and whether I'm within budget or not. So that's my second favorite tool in PriceLabs. I think it's useful for the hosts because, of course, holiday letting can be a lifestyle, it can be fun, can be a nightmare, but it's also a business, first of all. And in order to be successful in business, you need to know your numbers. And having a look on a regular basis at portfolio analytics forces you to understand your numbers. And your numbers, typically, they're three. The first one is the revenue per month. Compared, and what's useful in PriceLabs, it compares it really easily to the previous year and even all the previous years on the same graph. So that's really very useful. The second number, which is useful, is the ADR, so the average daily rate. That allows you to understand whether you've been steadily raising your prices compared to the previous years, and make sure that you're not underpricing your property compared to history and to the market. And The third KPI I like looking at in my portfolio analytics dashboard is the occupancy rate. So to see how many nights you've been able to sell in a given month, and to make sure you're within your monthly trends compared to the previous years. So of course, all these KPIs only really become interesting after maybe 1 year, when you've got 1 year history to build yourself on. But of course, you can use them straight out of the box to improve your understanding of numbers. Well, first of all, I'm comfortable that I'm not leaving any money on the table, which is the key thing. But secondly, in terms of price, in terms of revenue, yes, I've seen an increasing revenue over the last 2 years since I've started using PriceLabs. I'm comfortable that the prices that I'm charging every month are fair, keeping into account the uniqueness of my property and the competition. And yeah, finally, I'm not having the daily stressful job, having to tweak my prices every day, every week. I'm comfortable with setting broad guidelines for my off season and high season. And I'm comfortable that PriceLabs will do most of the heavy lifting once these parameters are set. Favorite customization, I don't change very much compared to the basic customizations, but my key one is the minimum stays. So I understand that if we're looking 3, 6, and 9 months in advance, I can be more demanding to my guests. So I can demand that they stay longer. So whereas previously, before PriceLabs, I had a two-day minimum stay for the whole year, and now I understand that as I've got time, I can ask for longer stays for far out reservations. So that is certainly going to give me a lot of comfort going forward, because of course longer stays is less changeovers, less expense, less breakages. So yeah, that's the main customization I've changed, and which I recommend your listeners look at. Advice I would give them has already been given, which is know your numbers, and I think that's quite important even at the beginning of your life with PriceLabs. However, if I could speak to more experienced users of PriceLabs, I think it's very helpful also to have a budget. So I don't think PriceLabs yet allows users to set a budget, but a simple Excel spreadsheet can do the trick. And it's basically simply to know what you want from your property in a given year, and break it down month by month, so you can know your performance against A, history, but also B, your budget month after month. And that's great. It gives you a feeling of control. It informs you about the state and the health of your business, and yeah, it gives you confidence basically. So that's my second main recommendation. Basically do what you like as long as you're trained. So PriceLabs has got a great training section. I would suggest you don't touch anything before you consider yourself properly trained.